What's up, guys? Hope you're doing fantastic this week. My name is Tyson, and this is
Devin, we never know what
Devin.
side I'm on though.
Yeah, it's always a reverse. I'm assuming you're going to be on this side. That's my guess this time.
Yeah, yeah,
Is that also
probably.
your guess? I think it's going to be over
Yeah,
there. But,
yep.
anyways, what's going on, guys? Hope you're doing fantastic. We have a couple updates to bring you, and well, I hope you're excited just as much as we are, because there's been some cool things that are developing over the past week, and I'm excited to share. So, starting off, the first thing we'll be covering this week is going to be the featured releases inside of ClickFunnels 2.0. As always, it's probably one of my favorite sections, seeing the actual features that we've been waiting for roll out on the platform. After that, we'll be diving into a how-to with Mr. Devin here. He's going to be walking you through
Yep.
how to set up. Actually, I'm not going to spoil it. We have a walkthrough that you're going to be wanting to be aware of.
No spoilers, no
No,
spoilers.
no spoilers. We'll be getting there. Don't worry. After that, we have tool of the week. If you haven't caught on by now, we love our tools, and this is just another one that we use all the time. After that, we have a question of the week, and then we'll wrap it up and send you on your merry way for the rest of the week. All right. So let's dive in, shall we? The first section here that we're going to be talking about is feature releases. The first one is lesson completion for students. Now, this might sound silly, but it feels like such a big thing that we finally are able to see on the platform because
No,
I-
it's huge. It's
it,
huge.
I
Don't
mean,
downplay it.
no, okay, but it's just like a check mark, like
Yeah.
whoop-de-doo, right? But it's for the customer side where they can actually see where they're at inside the course, and it makes a big difference, especially like with how people are interacting with your course. How like I feel like on a bi-weekly basis, I would have people reaching out to me saying, "Hey, I'm not sure how to do this." My customers are reaching out to me, and they're not sure where they are in this course. They can't seem to keep track of anything. It doesn't right. There's a big thing.
Yeah, it's really good for tracking because I think that's the thing is like, if it's a small course, it's probably not that big a deal. You probably have a better sense of like where you're at. But if we think of even, the funnel builder certification program, I think there's like 45 modules in there. If you were going through it one by one, it
Sure.
becomes very difficult at that point to maybe watch a couple videos and then come back and be like, where the hell was I? Did I watch this video before? Have I
So
not?
chaotic.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
The chaos is real. But now we have a resolution finally. And I tested it out the other day. It works perfectly. Haven't seen any issues with it. You can even reset the course if you want to reset the individual module or lesson that you marked as complete, and it will remove that check and you can go back through it again, which is cool. So you can go back and forth as easy as you want. And that's for both the I don't know, was it the baseline version of the course and the
Mhm.
custom version? Was it Learning Hub? I think that's
Yeah,
what it's called.
Learning Hub and then the
Learning
customized
Hub.
version. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing on either side. But anyways, that's the first one. The second item that we got to cover here is going to be the improved survey submissions view, which basically just is a centralized area inside of surveys, inside the actual app itself, that you can view all submissions or all answers and people that have answered in one area, one overview, which is nice. So you don't have to go to each individual contact now. You can go directly to the surveys and then view everyone in one area. It's about time.
I think that
Just
makes
kidding.
it
They just released. I'm just kidding.
I
They've
was
been
gonna
they definitely have been cranking on that. I've seen a lot of updates over the past few weeks since that has been rolled out. So I'll give them a handshake.
I was
They did
gonna
well.
say they just released the survey element like a couple weeks ago.
Hey man, it doesn't matter. Look, in my heart, I know that we've been waiting for 2 years. Okay,
Yeah,
two
yeah,
years for a
sure.
nice, clean survey experience, and they gave it to us. And I need to let it go. I need to. We're moving on. They've improved it. I'm happy. The next thing is going to be expanded workflow stats. Now, inside of your workflows, you could, originally see like how many people were in a specific area or on a specific step in a workflow, but you couldn't get any more information besides that. Now, if you click on the was here or are here option that are shown within the stats for individual steps in a workflow, you can get an expanded view of all the people that are in that area or the people that were in the area, which is pretty cool. And the emails and the names and stuff like that. So you know exactly who's been there.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's awesome, honestly, because I think sometimes it becomes this like vital thing to understand, even if like certain steps are working properly. If you have an email that
Hmm.
they're like, oh, I didn't get that email, or I don't know if I'm in the workflow, you can really tie that in and be like, okay, let's see how many people are on this step. Let's see if they received the last email. Let's see if they opened it, that kind of thing. So
Sure.
it goes. I think it definitely goes beyond just the simplicity of that feature. I think it's definitely. I think that's a long time coming feature because it naturally looks like you should have been able to click that before. And
True.
so
Yeah.
my reaction when I would saw like was here or whatever, I'm like trying to click it and I'm like, surely something's broken here. But
Yeah, so what's going on? Is it just me? No, plus, I mean, you could technically see it before, but you'd have to go to like individual contacts and get you can do an overview type of experience. Now, in this case,
mhm.
you can go and just do it all in one area, which is nice. Similar to what you're seeing in that survey area.
I was gonna
Um,
say it sounds like the releases kind of coincide with each other a little bit.
yeah, a little bit, huh? They're seeing what people are wanting. So that's it, man. That's it for future releases. What's going on the how-to section? What are you walking through people
Okay,
or
okay,
walking
fine.
people through? I said that incorrectly, but you know what I
Yeah,
meant. You know what I meant.
you Tyson, you know I don't walk first of all, so I'll be rolling people through
How
this
could I
how
forget,
to.
man?
Yeah,
Every time. I just say it out there. I just put it on table
you're
every
so much
time and
taller than me that I think you just don't even realize that I'm rolling around. You just think I'm like floating there or something.
Magneto style. No, Magneto has he has a chair, doesn't he?
Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
I'd be okay if I was just floating around. That would be kind of interesting. Definitely turn more heads though. I already get enough heads turned for, being in a wheelchair, but if I was floating, that would be even more interesting. But anyways, apart from that, the how-to that I will be walking or rolling you guys through, whatever you choose, is how to add tags to a contact in 2.0. It is more on a baseline of training this week, but I do want to make sure that we're not forgetting about the people that, might just be starting out in 2.0 and really want to understand the foundations of things. So this training is going to show you a couple different scenarios of how you can kind of go in and add a
Mhm.
tag to your contact inside of your account. And tags are just, I think they're very important for like some organizational pieces. You can use them to send workflows. You can use them to segment your contacts into like lists inside of 2.0. So there's definitely a lot of power in tagging your contacts. So that's what I'm going to be able to cover through that how to this week.
Nice. Beautiful. People are gonna love that. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with a good tagging session. You gotta know where to go. There's so many places, so many different ways to do it. So
Tag,
it's
you're
a good
it.
one. Either way, either way. Tag, I'm it. Is that what you're saying? Okay. The next section we're diving into is going to be the tool of the week. Again, we mentioned that. I mentioned I love my tools. Devin seems to love his tools as well. We have a nice pile at this point of things that we turn to, and one of those is TidyCal. TidyCal is probably my go-to calendar integration or setup for literally anything. It replaces Calendly. It still is my go-to just because the ClickFunnels one, it's like half baked in my mind. It works, it does sometimes. So far, it does not work so well for us. Calendly is a monthly subscription. TidyCal is a one-time thing. You pay $29 for it, and then you get access forever. So, and it's very simple to set up. It is
Yeah.
super easy. Has all the same integrations. You got Zoom. You got same custom features with the way you want things to be scheduled, when you want things to be scheduled, time blocks, whatever. It's all there.
If you're
So,
used to something like Calendly, it almost feels the same and very easy to work with. They're always doing updates too, I noticed as well.
mhm,
And
yeah.
then the other thing is too is we've messed around a lot with using TidyCal with things like Zapier, so you can expand the capabilities of it as well if you're familiar with something like Zapier as well. So definitely a super underrated tool. Tyson's really good at finding tools that are one time prices as opposed to monthly subscriptions. And though we do love ClickFunnels, and honestly, I think the calendar feature is ever expanding and it's really awesome. Unfortunately, we just ran into a bug where everything just kind of crumbled in in our calendar. We hadn't been able to figure it out, so we had
Yeah.
to kind of pivot quickly and move to something else. So TidyCal's kind of been there for us for the meantime.
Yeah. I mean, if they happen to resolve that issue and like we're able to start having those booking pages, we will move over to ClickFunnels eventually to have it all in one area. But for now, this is still my go-to. And you can't be $29. Literally $29. You get the same functionality as Calendly, but for life.
I mean,
So
if it was $28, I guess you could beat it, right? But
no, these are marketer prices. You can't be 30, can't be 28. It's got to be right below
well,
the actual
27. I thought
round.
20 the sevens were
Oh,
the
I go
ones,
for the
right?
nines. I like the nines
Okay.
personally.
Yeah.
But 27 is cool. I would pay 27 as well. 29 though, it really just
Not
grabs my
not
attention.
quite not quite 30. You're like, you know what? I wasn't gonna spend $30, but I'm glad they did it for 29.
Yeah,
This feels right to me.
exactly. You still feel like you're getting a discount. So
That's
Yeah.
it's an awesome tool to say the least. But what else we got on the agenda here? We do have a question this week. I know it feels like for the most part, like most of the time the questions we bring up are like super like heartfelt and like it transitions into like an orchestra playing behind us as we're like, look guys, we know being in a business is a really difficult thing. So we've been trying to kind of lighten it up a little bit.
Coming back to the actual stuff we can change, stuff we can work on.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So the question this week is essentially just breaking down the best ways to test your funnel to make sure it works well. I think the thing is like it's it's inevitable. I don't know if you've noticed this too, Tyson, but like when you have a funnel that you've created and you're ready to launch it, that's when things break. I don't know why, but it just feels like that's that's when things start breaking and you have to make adjustments. And so I think, you know, being able to test your funnel efficiently, I almost said
Mhm.
officially,
Officially.
efficiently.
I guess they both goes right. You're officially testing, you're making sure that it's
Yeah.
flowing right.
Sure. But being
I'll let
able
it
to,
pass.
yeah, for sure. Being able to test your funnel officially or efficiently, I think really goes a long way. And it's definitely not something to overlook. So, there's four key points I'm going to just lightly touch on here. And then if you want more information about this stuff, obviously, as always, we're going to have a blog link to this in the newsletter too that you can check out, where I'm
Or
walking you
if you
through
have
all this
if you have
stuff.
any other questions around this, just reply to this email and we'll feature you as the question of the week area as well.
Definitely, definitely, absolutely. But the first thing is ultimately just kind of sticking to the basics. You know, your funnel's ready to be launched. Go through the funnel as if you are a customer. Throw it in test mode. Walk through the funnel yourself. See if all the links work
Mm,
properly. Your buttons are going to the right place, whether they're opening the pop up or going to the next step or whatever the buttons are actually doing. You want to make sure they're doing the correct thing. Your links are working, all that fun stuff. And just, as you're going through, just make sure everything's clear and nothing's, very difficult to understand. Like there's a clear path to like, oh yeah, if I need to go to the next step, I need to click that button. You make sure things stand out, right?
sure.
Um,
I feel like you always find the actual problems that stand out within a funnel on those run throughs. On
mhm.
mobile specifically, like I always find things that are out of place, like you didn't optimize correctly, or you just didn't even look at the mobile side at all in the editor. You come back around, you're like, ah, man, okay, hold on, this button's way up here. It doesn't make any sense. God, why is it this color? I don't understand where this color even came from. Like it's always the most random things. Click on literally everything you see in the page itself for both mobile and desktop, and use it like someone actually would. Like go through, click everything. You'll find something. I guarantee it. I find stuff all the time. It just happens.
Yeah, and sometimes too, like if it feels like it's like almost too perfect, I might even make sure that like something can't be broken, right? I don't like intentionally go out of the way to try to break my funnel if I'm getting ready to launch it, but like I might test a few things that I know have notoriously broke a funnel of mine before just to make
Mm,
sure like it's airtight. So
sure.
that's one thing. The next thing I think is pretty straightforward, but sometimes can be overlooked. Testing it on multiple devices. So multiple computers if you can. If you have like a laptop and a desktop, testing it on both of those, testing it on different browsers, so like Chrome, Safari, any other browsers you may have. I think that's important. And then testing it on mobile too. I think sometimes people will overlook mobile because they're like, cool, everything is
Hmm.
fine. I've tried it on desktop a few times, tried it on a few different devices. I think I'm ready to go. And then lo and behold, maybe you launch it, and let's say 40% of your audience is checking it out on mobile, but they can't get to the next step. That's why it's so important to just make sure you're still testing it on other devices as well,
Womp womp.
including,
How sad
yeah.
would that be, you guys? You're sending all this ad traffic and you didn't even check mobile. God, don't waste your money.
You know what? You know what Asher's been saying lately, and I think it's hilarious. And I just immediately my brain went there. He's been going straight to jail when he's like,
Straight,
yeah, when he's like mad at us for something.
straight to you don't check mobile. Straight to jail. 100%. Yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah, yeah, he's the kids are funny, and then we told him he had to go straight to jail for something, and he's like, okay, I'm ready to leave now, and I'm like, your bail's been set at 1.5 million. Where's your money? And then he pulls in his pocket and puts imaginary money in my hand, and I'm like, unfortunately, that's only 1.3 million. He's like, I go get more money. But this this leads me into a good segue of looking at the numbers. You know, you want to make sure when you're testing your funnel that you're checking the numbers as far as like if opt-ins and page views are looking good. You can test it on ClickFunnels directly, but if you have anything like Google Analytics or anything like that, you can also
Definitely.
cross-reference there,
Always crop
because
reference. No,
because
sometimes.
sometimes,
Always.
yeah, sometimes the numbers aren't going to be like congruent between different platforms, and that's why I think it's so important to look at every single one of them, and kind of just make your best judgment and be like, okay, those numbers are a little bit off, but it's close enough that there's probably just something that one of these platforms is tracking that the other one is not. And if that's the conclusion you
Mhm.
came to, I think you're fine. But like, if ClickFunnels says there was one opt-in, you did 10, and Google Analytics is matching right at 10, then maybe you're kind of looking back and being like, okay, like maybe there's something that's not submitting, and you can go back through and just double check everything. But
Or
definitely
there's a
make sure
bug.
you're looking at the numbers. Yeah, that too. If it comes down to it and you're like, clearly these contacts are here, I can see them, you know the analytics just don't seem to be adding up right. And at that point you could easily just reach out to ClickFunnels support and just be like, hey, here's what I found. It looks like the numbers aren't right. But definitely, like Tyson was saying, always make sure you're testing on multiple platforms like Google Analytics or Facebook, if you're running ads that way, whatever you can, just to really cross reference and make sure everything is airtight there.
Word. Yeah.
Word.
Word.
And then the last point here is ultimately just asking for feedback. So don't just make it your tests, right? Because there's been plenty of times where like I'll test something and it's fine, or vice versa. Tyson will test something and it's fine, and then I go and test it and I find something that's broken. And then, because it was showing broken on my side, we were able to identify something that we probably wouldn't have noticed had Tyson just tested it or had I just tested it. So, you know, go to somebody in your family, like spouse or significant other, or your brother or your sister, and be like, hey, I'm about to make $1 million in this funnel in the next 2 weeks. I just need to make sure everything is good. Can you just go to this URL, put in your email, make sure everything's good? And you know they'll probably be fine with it, as long as you give them a cut of the million that you're making in the next week. But I'm sure more to come, so you shouldn't be too worried about it.
Agreed. Yeah. It likely they'll just send you their bank account information and say that that's the only problem. Is that it's not going to the right area. They're just not getting paid.
Yeah. Though my only concern is that it didn't directly go to my bank account. So yeah, if you could just fix that, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, definitely. And that makes sense. That's logical for them to assume that it should. But
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, I love that stuff, man. Honestly, when it comes to testing, just make sure you go do your due diligence. One thing that you could do as well to add on top of, like, there's like analytics specifically or tracking.
Hmm.
We actually just implemented this, but it's called actually, what is it called?
Hotjar.
Hotjar. Geez, Hotjar. Yeah, Hotjar. It's fun to say. Hotjar. It is a tracking software that basically will give you like a heat map recording of user sessions, so you can see how people are interacting with the page, see where people are falling off. It gives you a lot of information essentially of like how people are actually interacting with your page and buying your product or clicking on buttons. What are they clicking on? Where are they leaving on the page? Like, did they only get halfway down the page and just leave? Like, you'll know exactly what it is. You can go, maybe you have to go adjust headlines from there, or like, yeah, I don't know.
That
That's it.
sounds like you may have just found a tool of the week there, buddy.
Hotjar. Maybe we'll feature it next week. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, just another one that's is enjoyable to talk about. But anyways, that is it for question of the week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you have any questions aside from what we've already covered here in this article or in past articles, whatever, just reply to these emails and just let us know. We'll feature it in the next week and answer your question right there live, just like this, or directly in the newsletter. Totally up to you. Consume how you want. But that leads us to the next section here. We are trying something new here. Instead of doing like we're just taking you to our offer where we do everything for you, we're going to go in and actually help you fix your funnel first. If you're interested, we will do a call with you, complimentary call where we can get on a call and figure out what's going on with your funnel. What do we need to adjust? And we'll do it live. We'll do it right there with you for that period of time. That's it. Just to give
Are
you
you
a
are you
little
saying
glimpse
for free?
for free. Yeah, you can hang out with me, and we can do stuff. We can go and make sure your buttons are working, make sure that everything's submitted, make sure that you understand where things are located. Doesn't matter if you have questions around the platform. Cool, same thing. Hop on. We'll make sure you're situated and good to go within the platform. Yeah, fun stuff.
That's
Anything you
pretty
want?
solid. Pretty
Yeah, yeah.
solid. So like I don't need to borrow $1 from you this week. Is that what you're
You don't
saying?
need to borrow a dollar from me this week. I'm not selling anything this week. If you enjoy hanging out with me, then I do have, we have something for you. We have something where you can hop on and hang out with us further. And actually weekly, every single week if you really want to. And we can continue to do the exact same thing over and over. Make sure that your funnels are prime and all your questions are answered and you are supported 24/7. I have to sleep, not 24/7. Devin might not have to sleep, but I have to sleep. Well, I'm going to say
I only sleep 1 hour a week, so it's all good. I'll fit in
one
this
hour a
window.
week. Wow. Okay. That is scary. I don't recommend that for anybody. Don't no one do that, please. God. But that is it. If you're interested and your funnels are broken, don't worry. We got your back. So click in that area on this newsletter and just sign up, create a little booking, find your day and time, and we'll be seeing you. That's it.
Right on.
Yeah, that's all. I think that's it for this week. You got anything to add to this?
Nah, that's pretty much it.
That's
See you
it.
guys next time.
Right on. Have a great rest of your week, guys, and we will catch you next week.